What if I told you that the main reason you procrastinate has nothing to do with laziness or poor time management? In fact, every time you delay an important task, your brain is actually trying to protect you from a difficult emotion. That sudden urge to check your phone, to clean the entire kitchen, or to suddenly feel exhausted the moment you sit down to work. Those are not signs of a character flaw. They are emotional coping strategies that your mind has learned to keep you safe. And here's the startling part. Researchers have found that chronic procrastination is linked to higher levels of stress, poorer health, and even lower earnings over a lifetime. But the good news is that once you understand the hidden emotional machinery behind procrastination, you can rewire it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, step by step, using simple, science-backed tools that work even if you've been stuck for years. By the end of this video, you will have a completely new relationship with the tasks you usually avoid, and you'll know how to start important work almost effortlessly. So if you are ready to break the cycle for good, hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you never miss a new tool to upgrade your mind, and share this video with a friend who is tired of watching their own potential slip away. Now let's step into the solution. The mirror, deep understanding of the problem. If you are someone who often finds yourself staring at a blank screen while your chest tightens with anxiety, or you spend hours planning the perfect schedule but never actually start, I want you to know that I see you. Maybe you tell yourself that you work better under pressure, but deep down you feel exhausted by the last-minute panic. Perhaps you start a task with so much hope, only to abandon it the moment it feels difficult or boring, and then you spend the rest of the day feeling guilty and calling yourself names. You might even notice that the more important the task is to your future, the more your brain finds clever ways to avoid it. These experiences are not random. Psychologists call this present bias. Our minds are wired to value immediate comfort far more than future rewards. But when we understand that procrastination is essentially a short-term mood repair strategy, we can stop blaming ourselves and start treating the root cause instead of just fighting the symptoms. In the next few minutes, I will walk you through 3 transformative shifts that will change the way your brain responds to difficult tasks. We will look at the deep psychological roots of procrastination, and then I will give you concrete, practical tools that you can use immediately, even on the task you are avoiding right now. The roadmap, what we will cover. Here is what we are going to explore together. First, we will uncover the real reason you procrastinate, and it is not what most people think. Then, I will share the first powerful tool, which is about beating your brain's resistance by shrinking the perceived threat. After that, we will dive into a second tool that uses self-compassion to silence the inner critic that keeps you stuck. Finally, we will build a third tool that makes starting so simple that your brain will have no reason to fight back. Each tool is built on solid psychological research, and I will explain exactly how to apply it in your daily life. The root cause, why we procrastinate. The most important thing to understand is that procrastination is an emotion regulation problem, not a time management problem. When you face a task that triggers feelings of boredom, fear of failure, or self-doubt, the amygdala, the part of your brain that processes threats, lights up. Your brain interprets the uncomfortable emotion as a danger, and its immediate response is to escape. So you turn to something that gives you quick relief, like scrolling through social media or watching one more video. The relief is real but temporary, and then the task looms larger than before, now mixed with guilt and shame. This cycle was clearly demonstrated in a study by Dr. Tim Bakul and his colleagues, who found that people procrastinate to avoid negative emotions in the present moment, even when they know it will hurt them later. The problem, then, is not that you lack willpower. The problem is that your brain has learned an automatic avoidance pattern. The solution is to teach your brain a new pattern using small, deliberate actions that feel safe enough to bypass the alarm system. And that is exactly what the following 3 tools will help you do. Core Solution 1. The 5-minute rule, action before motivation. The first tool is deceptively simple, and it works by exploiting a beautiful loophole in the way our brains perceive threat. When you look at a huge project, your brain sees a mountain, and it immediately triggers that avoidance response. But if you shrink the commitment to something so tiny that it no longer feels threatening, your amygdala stays quiet. This is the essence of the 5-minute rule. Tell yourself that you will work on the task for just 5 minutes, and after that you are allowed to stop completely if you want to. The magic here is that starting is the only hard part. Once you begin, the psychological discomfort almost always drops dramatically. Psychologists call this the progress principle. The simple act of making even a tiny bit of progress creates a positive emotional shift that fuels further action. Think of it like pushing a car that has stalled. The initial push requires a lot of effort, but once the car starts rolling, it takes much less force to keep it moving. The 5-minute rule is that initial push. For a theoretical example, imagine a student who has to write a long essay. The thought of writing 10 pages makes her feel sick, so she keeps delaying. But if she says to herself, "I will just open the document and write one terrible sentence," the barrier collapses. In practice, you can apply this right now. Choose the task you have been avoiding the most. Set a timer on your phone for exactly 5 minutes, and allow yourself to do the smallest possible version of the task. You do not need a perfect start. You just need to show up for those 5 minutes. When the timer rings, you can walk away with zero guilt. But in most cases, you will find that you want to keep going because the resistance has already melted. Core Solution 2. Self-compassion instead of self-criticism. The second tool might surprise you because it goes against everything our culture teaches about productivity. Many of us believe that being hard on ourselves is the only way to get things done. But research tells a completely different story. A landmark study by Dr. Fuchsia Sorois found that procrastination is strongly linked to low self-compassion, and that people who are harsh with themselves after procrastinating are actually more likely to procrastinate again in the future. Why? Because self-criticism adds another layer of painful emotion, shame, to a task that already feels overwhelming. Your brain then tries to escape that shame by avoiding the task even more, creating a vicious cycle. Self-compassion, on the other hand, soothes the emotional threat. When you respond to your own failure with kindness, saying to yourself, "It's okay that I avoided this. I was feeling anxious, and many people struggle with this," you reduce the stress hormones that keep you frozen. To understand this better, think of a child who is terrified of jumping into a pool. If you yell at the child to stop being afraid, the fear only grows. But if you kneel down, acknowledge the fear, and gently hold their hand, the child feels safe enough to take a small step. Your inner self works the same way. The practical application is to create a short self-compassion phrase that you can use the moment you notice you are procrastinating. It could be something like, "I notice I'm avoiding this because I'm afraid of doing it poorly." That's a human reaction. I can take one gentle step forward. Say it to yourself with a tone of genuine warmth, as if you were comforting a close friend. This practice does not make you lazy. It actually frees up the mental energy that was being consumed by self-attack, so you can redirect it toward the task itself. Core Solution 3. Make tasks tiny, concrete, and time-bound. The third tool is about moving from vague intentions to crystal-clear actions. The brain hates ambiguity. When you tell yourself, "I need to work on my report," your mind instantly becomes overwhelmed because work on the report is a huge, foggy cloud with no clear starting point. But when you transform that cloud into a specific, bite-sized, physical action, the path becomes obvious and easy. This is based on the concept of implementation intentions, studied extensively by psychologist Dr. Peter Gollwitzer. His research shows that when people decide in advance exactly when, where, and how they will act, their success rate skyrockets. The formula is simple. I will do this very small action at this time, in this place. For example, instead of work on the report, you say, I will open the laptop and write the title of the report at 9 a.m. at my desk. That is so specific and small that your brain sees no threat. To visualize this, imagine trying to cross a wide river by jumping from rock to rock. If you only look at the far shore, you freeze because the distance is too great. But if you focus only on the nearest rock, the one you can easily step onto, you start moving. Each tiny completed action becomes the next rock. Now, take a moment to apply this. Pick the task that has been weighing on you and break it down into a first step that takes less than 2 minutes and is completely unambiguous. Write it down using the implementation intention formula and then do it immediately. This habit not only reduces procrastination, but also builds a powerful sense of self-trust because your brain learns that when you decide to do something, you actually follow through. The recap, summary of tools. So let's quickly tie together what you have learned, because knowledge without integration slips away. You now understand that procrastination is not a sign of laziness, but a natural emotional response that can be gently rewired. You have 3 science-backed tools in your hands. First, the 5-minute rule, which lowers the threat level so you can start without fear. Second, self-compassion, which breaks the shame cycle and gives you the emotional safety to act. And third, making tasks tiny and specific with implementation intentions, so your brain always knows exactly what to do next. These tools are not complicated, but they are profoundly effective when you use them consistently. The immediate action step. Here is what I want you to do right now before this video ends. Pause the video for a moment, take out a piece of paper or open a notes app, and write down the one task you have been postponing the most. It could be something at work, a conversation you need to have, or even a small personal project. Now apply the third tool. Break it down into a ridiculously easy first step that you can do in the next 2 minutes, and write down exactly when and where you will do it. For example, I will put on my running shoes and stand by the door at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Then, close your eyes for 10 seconds and picture yourself doing that tiny action with calm confidence. The moment you finish watching this video, go and do that tiny step. Do not wait for motivation. Just do the one small thing. You now have everything you need to break the cycle of procrastination. The fact that you stayed until the end of this video tells me that you are serious about changing your life, and I truly believe you are capable of taking back control. Every time you use these tools, you are literally rewiring your brain to become a person who acts on what matters most. If this video gave you a new perspective, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss the next science-driven tool. And one more thing, share this video with a friend, a colleague, or a family member who has been struggling silently with procrastination. You never know whose life you might change just by sending this link. Thank you for trusting me with your time, and I will see you in the next one.